You ever stop and think about just how much time we spend at work?
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And today we're diving into something that has a huge impact on how we experience that time, how much we get done, the whole thing. Employee motivation.
Makes sense.
We've got some really cool insights to dig into here,
Yeah.
mostly pulled from a GCSE business overview.
Yeah.
Now, before you think, oh, high school stuff, trust me, this thing's packed with good info.
Well, yeah.
It covers everything from like the basic definition of motivation to how businesses actually try to light that fire under people,
Uh-huh.
the big theories, the things that get in the way, what companies can do about it,
Right.
real-world examples, and even some of the questions people always ask about motivation.
Absolutely.
So think of this as us really pulling back the curtain on what gets people going at work.
Yeah. It's about that internal spark, right, that makes someone want to go above and beyond.
Totally.
And today, we're going to break down all of this, give you a clear picture of how employee motivation works. So whether you're managing a team, part of one, or just curious about the dynamics you see around you, you'll walk away with some practical knowledge.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. When we talk about employee motivation, what are we actually talking about? Like, what's the core definition?
It's that desire, that willingness people have to put in the effort, to work effectively for their company.
All right.
But it's not just about, clocking in more hours or looking busy.
Yeah.
It's about how intense that effort is. And really importantly, their focus on actually achieving the best outcomes.
So it's about quality and direction, not just quantity.
Right. A truly motivated employee, they're engaged, they're proactive, they're looking for ways to contribute beyond just the bare minimum.
Okay, so why is this so fundamental for businesses? I mean, it seems obvious, but why is a motivated workforce so crucial for success?
It comes down to whether a company can actually achieve its goals,
Ah.
right? Any goal, whether it's sales targets, new products, customer service, whatever it is, a motivated team is going to make it happen. And that ties directly into productivity and efficiency.
Can you give me a specific example of how that works?
Let's say you have a worker on an assembly line who's really engaged, really motivated.
Okay.
They might be the one to spot a small change that can speed things up, reduce errors,
Oh, I see.
boosting output and quality. And that leads to higher profits.
Makes sense. Now, the overview talks about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation.
Right.
What's the difference there?
Intrinsic motivation comes from within the employee.
Okay.
It's things like a sense of purpose, enjoying the work itself, that feeling of accomplishment.
Gotcha.
Extrinsic motivation is driven by external factors.
Okay.
Rewards, recognition from the company, promotions, or even avoiding negative consequences.
So one's that internal drive and the other is more about external rewards or avoiding penalties. All right, we've got the what and the why. But what are some of the real tangible benefits a business sees when it has a motivated workforce? Like, what does that actually look like on the ground?
The benefits are huge. They touch every part of the company.
Yeah.
First, you've got increased productivity and efficiency. Motivated employees don't just work harder, they work smarter. They're the ones who come up with innovative solutions, streamlining processes, paying attention to details.
It's like that assembly line worker finding a better way to do things.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see lower turnover rates. When employees feel valued, they stick around.
Makes sense.
That saves a ton of money on hiring and training new people. Think of a marketing team where everyone feels appreciated and sees opportunities for growth. They're not going anywhere.
Right, so they get that stability, that shared knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And then the quality of work goes up too. When people are invested, they take pride in what they do, they strive for excellence.
It's not just about doing more, it's about doing it better.
Right, like a developer making sure their code is clean, efficient, no bugs. It leads to a better product overall.
Oh, I see. So it's across the board.
And it impacts reliability and loyalty. Motivated employees are more likely to be on time, meet deadlines, take fewer sick days.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Think of a team working on a big project. Everyone's motivated. They're all pulling their weight to get it done on time.
You need that reliability, especially when deadlines are tight.
Absolutely. And then there's attracting new talent. A company with a reputation for having happy, motivated employees, that's a huge draw.
Yeah, word gets around.
Right. Positive reviews, good word of mouth, it all makes it easier to bring in top talent.
It's like a positive cycle. Happy employees attract more happy employees.
Exactly. And here's the thing. All that better performance, driven by motivation, leads to more profit.
Right.
And that profit can then be reinvested to make employees happier, which boosts motivation even more. It's a great cycle.
So we know why it matters. Now, how do you actually get people motivated? Our overview breaks it down into financial and non-financial methods. Let's start with the financial tools. What are some of the main levers companies use?
Financial motivation is all about using money to reward effort, performance, achievements.
Okay.
One of the most common is pay rises, increases in wages or salary over time.
Wow.
This could be a reward for loyalty or consistent good performance. Think of a teacher getting a raise each year.
Okay, so a direct link between performance and earnings.
Yeah. Bonuses are another big one.
Hmm.
These are extra payments given for hitting specific targets exceeding expectations.
Okay,
These can be individual or team-based, like a sales team getting a bonus for surpassing their goal.
makes sense.
Then there's commission, which is very common in sales roles.
Yeah.
Employees earn a percentage of the revenue they generate.
Oh yeah, like a real estate agent getting a cut of the sale.
Exactly. Their reward is directly tied to their output.
Got it. What else?
Profit sharing is an interesting one.
Hmm.
A portion of the company's profits gets distributed among employees.
I see.
This encourages everyone to work towards the overall success of the business.
Right, because they benefit when the company does well.
Exactly. And then there are fringe benefits. Things like health insurance, retirement contributions, company cars.
Yeah, those could be huge.
They add a lot of value for employees.
For sure. What about promotions?
Oh, promotions are a big one too. Moving up in the company usually means a higher salary and more responsibility.
Right.
This motivates employees to develop their skills and strive for advancement. And lastly, there are share ownership schemes.
What are those?
Employees are given or can buy shares in the company, making them part owners.
Oh, wow.
This increases loyalty and commitment because their success is tied to the company's success.
That's a lot of different tools.
Yeah.
But our overview mentions that financial incentives don't always work the same way for everyone. Why is that?
Money is a different motivator for different people. What one person finds motivating, another might not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, the type of incentive should fit the job. Commission works well for salespeople, but profit sharing might be better for teams where everyone contributes to the bottom line.
So it's about tailoring the approach.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about what motivates people beyond just their paycheck. What are some non-financial motivators companies can use?
Non-financial motivation is about recognizing contributions, providing opportunities for growth, and creating a positive environment.
Okay.
One example is job enrichment.
Uh-huh.
This means making a job more interesting and challenging.
I see.
For instance, instead of just processing invoices, an employee might also manage relationships with vendors.
So they get more ownership and control.
Exactly. Then there's job rotation. This involves moving employees between different tasks or roles.
Oh, interesting.
It adds variety, helps them learn new skills, and understand different parts of the business.
I like that.
Imagine someone new at a retail store spending time on the sales floor, in the stockroom, and helping with displays.
They get a broader view.
Exactly. Training and development opportunities are also important. Paying for an employee to attend a conference or take a course shows you value them.
Yeah, that feeling of continuous learning can be a big motivator.
For sure. And never underestimate the power of recognition and praise. Acknowledging achievements, publicly or privately, can really boost morale.
Right. A little appreciation goes a long way.
It does. Giving employees more responsibility and autonomy is another key factor. Letting teams make decisions about their projects shows trust.
And that trust can lead to more engagement.
Exactly. Then there's the importance of teamwork and belonging. When people feel like they're part of a supportive team, they're more invested in their work.
Yeah, that sense of community is really important.
It is. The management style also plays a role. A democratic style where employees are involved in decisions can lead to a more motivated workforce.
So it's about creating a positive overall experience.
Exactly. And the cool thing about non-financial motivators is they can lead to longer-lasting motivation because they tap into those deeper needs for fulfillment, recognition, growth. Financial rewards are important, but feeling valued and having opportunities to learn, that creates a much deeper level of engagement.
So it's not just about the paycheck.
Right. But just like with financial motivators, what works for one person might not work for another. Some people love public praise, others prefer private acknowledgement or more responsibility.
It's about understanding individual needs. Now, businesses often use established theories to understand what motivates their employees.
Yeah.
Our overview talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right.
Can you explain that one?
Maslow's theory suggests that human motivation is based on a hierarchy of 5 needs, often shown as a pyramid.
Oh yeah, I've seen that pyramid.
The idea is people need to fulfill lower-level needs before they can focus on higher-level ones.
Makes sense. What are the different levels?
At the bottom are physiological needs, basic survival like food, water, shelter. In a job, this means having a salary to cover living costs and comfortable break areas. Next is safety needs, security, stability. This means job security, safe working conditions, fair contracts.
Got it.
Then there are social needs, connection, belonging. This means positive team dynamics, supportive relationships, and inclusive culture. Above that are esteem needs, respect, recognition, status. Things like praise, rewards, and promotions are motivating here.
Okay.
And at the very top is self-actualization, reaching your full potential. This means challenging work, autonomy, finding meaning in your job.
So you can't focus on your full potential if you're worried about paying your bills.
Exactly. Businesses need to offer a variety of incentives to cater to these different levels. Fair wages address basic needs. Development opportunities address higher needs.
So it's about providing a range of options.
Yeah. But Maslow's theory isn't perfect. Not everyone progresses through the hierarchy the same way, and culture plays a big role.
Right. It's not one size fits all. What's the other theory from the overview?
Herzberg's two-factor theory, also called the motivator hygiene theory. This one says job satisfaction and dissatisfaction are influenced by two different sets of factors.
Interesting.
Hygiene factors are things that, if they're missing or bad, can cause dissatisfaction. But even if they're good, they don't necessarily lead to satisfaction.
Like what?
Pay, policies, working conditions, relationships, job security.
I see.
If these are bad, people are unhappy. But just fixing them might not motivate them. It just stops them from being unhappy.
So they're about creating a basic level of contentment.
Exactly. Then you have motivating factors. These are the things that actually drive motivation and satisfaction.
Like what?
Achievement, recognition, the work itself, responsibility, advancement, growth.
Right.
These are what encourage people to go the extra mile.
So companies need to focus on both.
Yes. First, make sure hygiene factors are good to avoid dissatisfaction. Then focus on boosting motivating factors to drive real engagement.
So just giving someone a raise might not motivate them. It just stops them from being unhappy about their pay.
Exactly. To really motivate them, focus on achievement, recognition, and growth.
That's an important distinction. Now, even with all this knowledge, businesses still face challenges in keeping employees motivated. What are some of the biggest obstacles?
One of the most common is a lack of appreciation and recognition. When hard work goes unnoticed, it's demotivating.
Makes sense.
Poor working conditions also have a huge impact. Uncomfortable offices, unsafe environments, it all affects morale.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable or safe, it's hard to focus on anything else.
Right. Unfair pay and benefits are another big issue. When people feel undervalued, it breeds resentment. And a lack of growth opportunities can also lead to stagnation.
It's like being stuck in a dead end.
Exactly. Poor communication is another challenge.
Yeah.
When employees don't understand goals or their role, or if they feel unheard, it creates a disconnect.
Right, they don't feel invested.
And a lack of trust and autonomy is also demotivating. Micromanaging stifles creativity.
It's like they're not trusted to do their job.
Yeah. And then there's burnout and stress from too much work, unrealistic deadlines, and no work-life balance.
That's a huge issue these days.
It is. And a negative company culture can be incredibly draining. Lack of respect, poor teamwork, a toxic atmosphere, it all wears people down.
Yeah, that's no good.
And then feeling like your work has no meaning, like it doesn't contribute to something bigger, that can also be demotivating.
Right, it's about feeling like you're making a difference.
Exactly. And finally, resistance to change, if not managed well, can also impact morale.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It is. And these challenges are often connected. Poor communication can lead to lack of trust, which can lead to a negative culture.
So it's all intertwined.
Exactly. Understanding the root causes of demotivation is crucial for finding solutions.
So what can businesses actually do to create a more motivated workforce? What are some concrete solutions?
Implementing recognition programs is a great start. Find clear and consistent ways to acknowledge and reward good work, big or small. Improving working conditions is also important. Make the environment comfortable, safe, and pleasant. Conduct regular, transparent pay reviews to ensure fair compensation.
So show employees they are valued.
Exactly. Investing in training and development programs is also key.
Yeah.
It shows employees that the company cares about their growth, and communication is crucial.
Right.
Create open channels where employees are informed and feel heard. Empower employees by giving them responsibility and autonomy.
So they have more control over their work.
Yes. Encourage work-life balance to prevent burnout.
Uh-huh.
Flexible schedules, reasonable workloads, and time off are all important. And cultivate a positive company culture where everyone feels respected and valued.
It sounds like a lot of pieces working together.
It is. It's about addressing both the tangible and intangible aspects of the work experience.
Right.
And it's important to help employees see the bigger picture, how their work contributes to the company's mission.
So they understand their impact.
Exactly. Support them during periods of change, communicate clearly, offer training.
Yeah, change can be tough.
It can. And regularly gather feedback to identify areas for improvement.
So it's an ongoing process.
Yes. Combining financial and non-financial strategies tailored to the specific workforce, that's the most effective approach.
And it needs to be adapted as needs change.
Absolutely.
Okay. Our overview mentions some companies that are known for motivating their employees well.
Yeah.
What are some of those?
Google is a good example. They give employees a lot of autonomy with their 20% projects, letting them pursue their own ideas.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
They also have tons of perks and benefits. Patagonia has a strong, purpose-driven culture that aligns with their environmental mission.
Right, their values are very clear.
Hilton focuses on employee well-being, offering wellness programs and flexible schedules.
So they prioritize their employees' well-being.
Yeah. Southwest Airlines has a fun, celebratory culture with profit sharing.
They seem like a fun company to work for.
They do. Microsoft has a culture of continuous learning, encouraging employees to always be growing. Zappos is all about happiness and collaboration.
Interesting.
They do a lot of team building and open communication. Netflix gives employees a lot of freedom and responsibility.
I can see how that would be motivating for some people.
It is, and Wegmans is known for great pay, benefits, a positive culture, and development opportunities.
So there's no single right way to do it.
Exactly. It's about tailoring the approach to the company and its people.
Okay, let's look at some FAQs from our overview. We've talked about the difference between financial and non-financial motivation. Another common question is, which is more important, money or job satisfaction?
It really depends on the person. Fair pay is important for security, but job satisfaction, enjoying the work, feeling valued, having purpose, that often leads to longer-lasting motivation.
So ideally, you want both.
Yes, the best companies offer both.
Now, does having motivated employees automatically mean better performance?
Not always. Motivation is important, but employees also need the skills, training, and resources to do their jobs well.
So you can be motivated, but still need the right support.
Exactly.
And what about motivating a diverse team with different needs and priorities?
That requires a multifaceted approach. Understand individual needs, offer a range of incentives, provide diverse roles, and create a flexible environment.
So personalize the approach.
Yes, what works for one person might not work for another.
And what happens when a company has a consistently unmotivated workforce?
It can be pretty bad. Lower productivity, lower quality, more absenteeism, higher turnover, a negative environment, and ultimately lower profits.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Pretty much.
Last question. Whose job is it to make sure employees are motivated?
Managers play a huge role. They create the environment, set expectations, give feedback, recognize good work, and help employees develop.
So it's an active part of their job.
Absolutely. Good managers are essential for a motivated workforce.
Well, this has been a really thorough look at employee motivation. It's complex, but incredibly important.
It is. We've covered the basics, the theories, the strategies, and real-world examples.
It's clear that motivation is about more than just money.
Right.
It's about creating a workplace where people feel valued, can grow, and find meaning in their work.
Exactly.
And challenges are there, but the right approach can lead to big benefits for everyone.
It can.
So to our listeners, as you think about your own work, whether you're a leader or a team member, ask yourself, what really motivates you?
Yeah.
Is it a good salary, achieving goals, connecting with colleagues, learning new things?
It's worth thinking about.
Understanding your own motivations can help you understand the motivations of others.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.